Good evening, everybody. Okay, so for a while now, a lot of people been asking me to, you know, give my opinion on what's going on, currently in the gospel music scene. Talking about the whole, you know, Miss Chinwo and the record label thingy. It's important that I say this, right? Much as nobody has the true position of what's really going on between Easy and Messi Chinwo, right? I mean, aside from the words from both of them, this one said this, that one said that. The only thing again that can actually clarify the situation is the contract, right? Which neither I nor you who has um, have access to. Okay, and of course, contracts are confidential stuff. But I'll say this right. Ms. Cho said something interesting that she signed a management contract, right? And that easy later changed the management contract to something else and wanted to extend her contract for 12 years. Now, question is, if you sign a management contract, there is a limit to what a management contract can cover. So, how can you sign a management contract with somebody and then you are enjoying the benefit of a record contract? Now, it's possible that she may not know, that might be ignorance on her part, but you need to understand that a record label has different kind of music contracts. Okay, there is 360 contract, management contract. For some, it's even distribution contract. There are different kind of contract that a label can have with a person, you know. So, as an artist, you need to really understand what contract that you are getting yourself into. Very key. Unfortunately, a lot of artists are not educated when it comes to these things. So, first of all, it's an error for Mrs. Chiwo to say that she's on a management contract with Easy Concept Global. The reason is because, according to Easy Concept, the record label is responsible for her projects 100%. They fund all her projects, shoot her video, do sponsor her recording, live recordings, everything. The label is taking care of everything. The label is also taking care of her accommodation and also her, mobility. Talking about cars. Now, um, a those are not the things that you get when you're on a management contract. All right. So, and that's the reason why the label is holding on to her catalog, because if the label is sponsoring everything 100%, obviously the catalog belongs to the label. All right. So the best thing to do is not to victimize the record label, but to come to a negotiation table and get the right things done. So that's one. Now, on the part of easy too, are there ways that these things could have been handled? If you ask me, I think that if I were easy, I would have actually been the first to, you know um go to court, go after Miss Jimo, because according to easy, she actually Miss Jimo actually, you know break the contract. Okay, she did not keep to the terms of the contract, and the right thing for her to have done, for him rather to have done, would have been straight away, when you notice the artist is not keeping to the contract, invoke the power of the law. you know get the law to work. Take her to court. Take her to court. Because the contract is a legal matter. So, all of this back and forth on social media, I don't think is the right thing to even do, right? You guys go to court. Let the court settle everything. That's the step that would have been taken from the beginning. And I expected that that would have come from Easy. Although I felt like Easy wanted to settle this as a family, nonetheless. But the cocoa of the matter actually is more like me giving an advice to gospel artists. When you sign, to a record label, two things that you need to do that is very important. The first thing that you need to do as an artist is to verify the kind of contract that you're signing, get a lawyer to interpret the contracts, the clauses, and everything. Now, if you have questions, you should ask. If there are things that are of concern to you, you should ask. Unfortunately, there are things you might see in the contract that you don't even know what it means, like things like who owns the catalog and all of that. There are some people who don't even know what catalog is, and they are artists, right? So terminologies you're not familiar with, ask question for clarity, and you can actually start negotiating from the beginning of your contract. Before you sign the contract, you can negotiate certain things on the contract. Very, very important. You know, you need to do that. That's one. Two is that when you sign a contract, try as much as possible to fulfill your own obligation of the contract. You know, try as much as possible to fulfill your obligation of the contract. I noticed that for most artists, it's always a very difficult thing for them to stay on a label after they are blown, especially those of us in the gospel, you know. And that happens for a long time because most times when an artist leave a gospel record label, the matter is never ever taken to court. It's resolved like a family, and that it's actually killing the ecosystem. That is not adding any kind of value to the ecosystem. That will actually scare investors because some of these people invest so much into music, and then by the time it's time for them to begin to reap the proceed of their investment, that's when you begin to see that the artists, begin to hear from God and begin to think of leaving. And this is really terrible. Imagine somebody investing as much as 20 to 50 to 100 million naira on an artist, maybe for 2 years consecutively, and then after the artist blow in a contract of 5 years, the artist blow after 2 years of massive investment on the artist, and then the artist pulled out of the label. Who is going to pay for all the cost of the investment that the label made on the artist, right? And when we talk about taking artists to court, they say no, we have to settle it. It's the body of Christ. No, we also need to also address the issue of the body of Christ. You are an artist who signed a contract with the label. There is no body of Christ involved. It's two people doing business. It's two people doing business. There is no body of Christ anything. All right. So let's stop this body of Christ ideology, body of Christ narrative, and let's do what is right. Let's do what is right. If an artist sign a contract with the label, the artist should do his best or her best to stay to the terms of the contract. If the label is not doing well, you can sue the label. You take the label to court. It's a contract. Don't sit there and then one day you hear from God and say, God say you should move. Your ministry is not the same with the label's ministry. Who cares? That's nobody's business. You should hear from God before you join a label. If you're very spiritual, before you accept a contract, make sure you hear from God. Because hearing from God after you have signed a contract to a label, and label have invested so much into you, it's not valid. It's not valid. That's manipulation. It's not valid. You cannot say you hear from God after somebody invested so much money into you, and then that's the time that you now hear from God that God has a greater assignment for you to do. Who's going to pay for the person's money? Who's going to take care of the bills that the label already, the money the label expended on you? And for some of you, if somebody talk now, they say, no, we should not drag ourselves on social media. It's the body of Christ. No, in a secular world, certain things that can happen is that, if you exit a label abruptly like that, the label takes you to court, and then the court can rule that, okay, according to the terms of the contract, you have to fulfill certain obligation. Maybe the subsequent albums you're going to release will belong to the label and all that. So the label will be able to make their money back. We need to take this gospel music seriously because it's serious. Some of you guys who have seen the light, you think that's all to it. You forgot that there are people who are coming behind. And these people who are coming behind, they're going to need the same ladder that you used to climb. Today, Ms. Chinwo is a big brand. She probably will not need Eezee concept anymore. But there are a lot of young people who are coming behind her today who will definitely need Eezee concept to climb. right? Now, if you destroy Eezee concept today, you have already burned the bridge for a lot of young artists. Sometimes we need to also consider the impact of our actions as a people. You know, it's very, very important. Very, very important. And I think that another thing is that people are not actually speaking up enough. People are not speaking up enough. We need to be a people that stand for the truth. We need to be a people that speak the truth in love. Always, always, you know, always. So, as I said, for me, it's not really about taking sides because obviously the only persons rather that have the true state of what is happening are the two people who are in the contract. That's Mr. Eezee and Mercy Chinwo. Okay, the rest of us actually are watching what is happening and making our judgment based off on the information that is available to all of us. So if you ask me, I'll say again, let everybody just tread with caution and be careful. Really, very important. Be careful. Be careful. How? Because whatever we do, our actions will actually tell. Our action will impact the younger generation, will impact the next people coming after us. We should not burn the bridge that we use to climb, the ladder that we use to climb. We should not burn that ladder, that bridge, destroy the ladder, because some other people will need that same ladder to climb. Very important. And we need to also embrace law, the use of law, the application of law, the implementation of the law, because contract is prepared by lawyers. This is legal document, and we should be comfortable with it and stop this blackmail with, oh, it's the body of Christ, you not do this, you not that. No, this is a business. Somebody's money is involved, and that's the most I have to share on this subject, though I might be speaking some more, maybe much more later. God bless you. Drop your comment. Actually, tell me what you think about this whole brouhaha that's going on. Bye.